Shannon's Himalayan safety. The Himalayas. Shannon ran through the forest as fast as her 4 legs would go. The sound of the gun had ended her hunt, and she needed to return to the safety of her cave. She hadn't heard the human hunters coming. Her mother had always warned her to be careful when hunting alone.
Always look around you. Humans have clothes to make them change color. Always watch your surroundings. Snow leopards are dying. You mustn't let humans see you.
Shannon squeezed through the entrance to her cave. She looked around to see if she had left any food from yesterday's hunt. There was nothing. She looked at the map that had been painted on the wall many years ago. Her home was at the summit of K2 in the Himalayas. It was the second largest mountain in the world and was becoming less safe every day. She looked at the map. Mount Everest caught her eye. It was the highest mountain in the world, at 8,850 meters. Her mother had told her that the Sherpa people lived there. They were experts at climbing the mountains. Legends said that they had helped snow leopards in the past.
Maybe they can help. Maybe they can take me to a safe place.
The next morning, Shannon woke early to begin her trek to Mount Everest. She knew it would be tough. The Himalayas were the highest mountain range in the world. They extended in an arc from west to east and touched 5 countries: Pakistan, India, China, Nepal, and Bhutan. Everest was located in the south.
Shannon had a long journey ahead of her. She had no idea how long it would take her, but she knew that she had to travel as fast as she could. As she journeyed, she tried to remember everything her mother had told her when she was younger.
The word Himalaya comes from an old Indian language called Sanskrit. It means house of snow because the mountains are high enough to always have snow on them.
Her mother had told her.
There are over 100 mountains in the world, and the Nepalese Himalayas contain 9 of the highest peaks.
Shannon stopped at the Siachen Glacier to drink.
This is the second longest glacier in the world outside of the North and South Pole regions.
She remembered.
It is 70 kilometers long.
Shannon knew she had many miles to go. The Siachen Glacier was as far as her mother would let her go when she was young. If only her mother was here to see how much farther she would be traveling.
The days traveling south went by. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks became months. Shannon could only try and guess what time of year it was by looking at how long the sun was in the sky. She wasn't very good at doing this. As she ate her lunch, she could hear something in the trees.
Have the hunters been following me? They wouldn't be able to come this far, would they?
Shannon looked around, trying to see if anyone was there. A boy walked among the trees. The boy was wrapped in a coat made from animal skin. He looked very young. Shannon watched him as he moved closer.
"Snow leopard!"
the boy shouted.
"I know you're here!"
Shannon didn't make a sound. She moved her head down and closer to the ground. When she looked up again, the boy had disappeared.
"There you are."
Somehow, he had managed to tiptoe behind her.
"Don't be scared. I want to help you."
Shannon didn't know what to do. She didn't understand why the boy was talking to her. The boy touched her head, and she felt happy. Shannon looked into the boy's eyes and wished that she could speak to him. She wanted to tell him about the Sherpa and why she was going to Mount Everest.
"I can see inside your mind. I know where you are going, and I am here to help. I am one of the Sherpa people. I was sent here to lead you. Follow me."
Shannon couldn't believe the boy understood her. She watched as the boy began to walk away. Shannon followed him quickly.
You have traveled very far. Do you know how the Himalayas were formed? 55 million years ago, plate tectonics caused the Indian subcontinent to break off from Africa. India floated for 5 million years. 50 million years ago, it bumped into Asia.
Shannon listened to him as he spoke. For someone so young, he seemed very wise.
I wonder what happened next.
This impact forced the land between the countries to fold up into the mountains we call the Himalayas. At the top of the mountains, you will find limestone that formed at the bottom of the ocean. I hope that answers your question.
Shannon had forgotten that he could read her thoughts. She felt a lot more relaxed now that she knew he was helping her. Hopefully, he would take her to the other snow leopards, the ones her mother had told her about. Shannon and the boy walked together for 3 days. He didn't speak much, but when he did, it calmed Shannon down. She was curious about how much farther they would travel.
The Himalayas form a border between India, China, and Central Asia. Even now, India continues to push towards Asia. It moves north 1 centimeter every 6 months. The land is still being pushed upward, so the Himalayas are becoming higher and higher.
At sunset on the 3rd day, Shannon could see a number of huts and caves. She walked slowly. She was worried that the boy had led her into a trap.
We have made it. This is the Rongbuk Monastery. It is claimed to be the highest monastery in the world.
Do I go the rest of the way on my own?
Yes. I can take you no farther, but please know that as soon as you walk through, you will be given safety from anything that may cause you harm.
Shannon wanted to thank the boy, but she didn't know how. She let his hand touch her head one final time and began to walk past the huts alone. She walked alone for 2 hours. Then she heard a wonderful sound. As she walked around a corner, she could see at least 10 snow leopards playing together. She started to run toward them.
The snow leopards stopped playing and looked at her. She roared with excitement, and they roared back. She was happy to have found the place her mother had told her about. She was excited to begin her new life, safe from harm.